Hello, Brett. How are we?
Good,
Welcome.
mate. Yeah, I'm very good. You have to excuse the mess in the background.
Don't
I
worry
didn't
about it,
realize
mate.
it could blur. So like,
My set.
we're in our bedroom. It's everywhere. Baby sleeps in here, so it's
Yeah.
all absolute.
Do you know
This
what?
is the clean part.
Do you know what? I consume like content on social, and it's like video content. It's like, oh, here's my lighting setup and my office setup and this and that. I've literally got baby toys all everywhere. I've got a webcam, and I've got a little light here that I just kind of light myself with, which isn't even lighting myself that well, and a window. That's it. um,
Yeah, I've parked my desk in front of the window, so it's like I get the natural lighting, which is quite nice. So I don't have to worry about all the shadowing and all that good stuff.
yeah,
You'll know more about that than I do,
yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
this is the
Exactly.
most basic of setups.
Yeah, literally, you're doing all the right stuff, and I'm doing all the wrong stuff, and I'm the video guy. Yeah. So, um, I'm always really interested, and what like big like obviously we're going to dive into like copy and video and all that kind of stuff. But like one thing I'm always fascinated about, and I always speak to people about this, is in the fitness industry when you're a PT or a coach or an online coach. When I got into it, this was a long time ago, like 14 years ago, 15 years ago, actually, maybe. Anyway, it was a long time ago. There was when you became a PT or coach, there wasn't really a transition to go anywhere other than like gym manager or something like that, or like like a lead PT in a gym or something. But now it seems like there's lots of avenues for progression in terms of copywriting, video, social media, content creation, mentoring, coaching of coaches, loads of different avenues. And, I sort of gravitated towards video and social side of it. You've obviously gravitated towards copywriting. So, yeah, I'd love to get your sort of perspective on that sort of shift that's been made in the industry over like probably only the last like maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe. I don't know, like 5 years, where
Yeah.
is it me, but was mentoring not really a thing back then? I don't know.
I don't know if I'm being perfectly honest on that front. I was part of like a fitness mentoring when not long after becoming a PT. Sorry, an online coach. I was never really an in-person trainer. I dabbled in it a little bit, but it wasn't really my thing.
Mm.
Um, so with regards to actual mentoring, like it was something that I became aware of and actually joined up front. I didn't see the return on my investment that I hoped to,
Mm.
but I don't necessarily put that towards the actual mentoring itself, more so
Mm.
my ability to be a coach.
Yeah.
But sort of touching on your point of like progression or like different avenues that you can take, I think a big part of that with it is the fact that you're literally like an online business owner, but you've got to wear so many hats because like I would assume that like 10, 15, 20 years ago when you were a PT, you just got a job in a gym and your only job was to almost like deliver sessions to a client, speak to people on the gym floor, and that's sort of how you got your clients, maybe do some local outreach. You didn't really have to do like videography or write content for social media and spend like what I found as a coach, and this is one of the big things that put me off of being a coach was I felt like I was spending 90% of my time on not coaching and doing anything but fitness. So it's almost like I had a real passion for like lifting and I went to uni to do it. I spent like 12 years like from like six as soon as I started it in like when I was like 15. I'm now 29. I was doing it completely. It was the only thing I cared about. And so for me, coaching was just the way in order to get paid for doing something that I already knew a lot about and enjoyed. I quickly realized that I was doing less and less of that fitness stuff and more of the marketing and the social media. And that sort of started to hurt my passion for fitness as such, or passion as a coach, because I felt like I wasn't doing what I came into it to do. And then the whole other issues of that came up around just like comparison, not feeling like I was putting so much into it and not getting much out of it, and just that. And then I started really resenting social media. Like that was a big thing for me. That was like the tipping point where I was like, I'm getting sick of being on social media. I felt this pressure to like constantly be on it. And that was actually the thing that turned me onto copywriting. So it wasn't a progression. Like it wasn't like that. I was this good coach. I saw some major success and I thought, you know what, I can teach other people my success through copywriting to them. Like that wasn't it. Like copywriting was the escape for me. Copywriting was like I'm shit as a coach. I quite like the idea of this copywriting. I gave this copywriting thing a go. I'll be very honest, I saw more success as a copywriter. So I thought, why not lean into it?
Yeah.
Like I'm not seeing success in in coaching. I'm seeing the success in copywriting. Why not go into that? Now, if I saw success in coaching, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now about me being a copywriter. I'll be very honest. I'm very much of a I chased where the money was for me, and I sort of saw money in copywriting, and then I found myself, because I was seeing money, I found myself, it was like what was it, the feedback, positive feedback loop. I saw the money, so I started enjoying copywriting a bit more, and now it's sort of like I'm in this position now where like I'm earning an okay wage and I'm enjoying it because of that process, rather than it being I had this overwhelming passion for copywriting and marketing. Because I'll be very honest, I don't have that like oh I get obsessed about like marketing and things like that. I don't say I do. I just enjoy it enough and it earns me good money.
I love that. I love that. So what was it? What was the thing that sort of hooked you onto copywriting?
Ah, it's a good question. Well, actually, no, the big thing was I thought in my head, okay, so I can get clients, I can write for these clients, I can get paid for that, but I don't need to show my face on social media. I can just be the guy in the background
Yeah.
who gives them all the limelight. I'm just here tapping away on a laptop. I don't have to speak to people. I don't have to promote myself. I can just go out, reach out to people, and that was it. And the other thing was, one thing I didn't mention is like during all of this time up until like late last year, I was also I also worked in like corporate land, so I did that for like 7 years of just being like a project manager. So like I spent all day on my laptop sending emails, being on calls, being on meetings, and that was the other thing I hated. I hated the idea of spending like the hours of like 8 till 4 being stuck on meetings and being forced to like sit in front of my laptop and having to put on this face and like talk to people and stuff like that. I didn't want that either. So like I had this like this thing of like, okay, I don't want to be on social media. I don't really want to speak to people all day. So what can I do? Okay, I can just sit on my laptop, sit on a Google Sheet document and type away. Like that was like the bliss for me.
Yeah.
And like copywriting was the thing, and I could get paid for that. And copywriting was the thing that delivered that for me.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. It's kind of similar for myself, right? So I was, I basically got into video because I was a bit of a film geek, basically. And I was like, I always remember like watching films. And I don't know, I couldn't tell you the time or date or when it was, but it was one day and it was probably around, I'm going to say 8 years ago from today. So
Mm.
yeah, probably around 8 to 10 years ago. And I was just scrolling through Twitter and I seen this tweet and it said, there's so much value in this video. And it was a link to a YouTube video. And my iPad's just started randomly talking. So, so I clicked the link, and it was a video from Casey Neistat, who's a massive YouTuber for anyone who doesn't know, and it was called Fat and Lazy. The video was just Fat and Lazy, and it was a video about time management, and it absolutely hooked me in. Right, it was like it's probably like a 10-minute video on YouTube. It's still on there. I go back and watch it sometimes for inspiration. And the way he shot the video and the way he like articulated time management and how you can manage your time better, I was down a rabbit hole for a good few days, and I was like, this is amazing. How has he shot that thing? How's he done this? The music's amazing. Like the way he's edited it is amazing. Like my brain couldn't comprehend that thing. So since then, it was like I was PCing all this time. By the way, I was PCing. I was I knew I'd been PCing for a long time. I was coming to a point where it was like a crossroads where I wasn't going to be on the gym floor for much longer, and I knew it. And it was just like I was just counting the hours, counting the sessions. Like I wasn't asked. It's like that sunk cost fallacy thing, isn't it? Where you just put so much time and effort into something, you just feel like you can't do anything else. So fast forward, I was at this crossroads, became an assessor, and I was like, it's still not what I want to do, but I was always down this rabbit hole of like video. And by this point, it was like a year later, and I was doing like I think I'd done like a local hairdressers or something, like video, and I've done it on my iPhone. It wasn't like professional or anything. And then COVID happened. COVID came along, and I was like, right, so now's the time. I can't like I'm not going to be doing in-person sessions anymore. I need to be on online coach. Joined OFB at the time. And then I got speaking to Stu, but Stu McKenzie lived down the road from me, and I seen him walking all the time. So one day I just collared him and was just like, "Can I do some like mentoring with you?" because I knew he was part of OFB at the time. And that's how I got to know Dan. I got to know yourself, like all the guys. And Stu said, why don't you just, is this what you want to do long term? I was like, just to be honest with you, no, I want to do something with video. And every day in COVID, I was making like a video and posting it, making a video, posting it. And I look back and he was shit. Don't get me wrong, he was crap. I was making a video, editing it, posting it, making a video, editing it, posting it. And I got, over time, I just noticed it getting better and better and better. Chris from my local gym rang me. He was like, I've noticed all the videos you're putting up. Can you do some for our gym? I was like, yeah. Started doing that. And then it rolled into mentoring with Dan, and HD Creative started, and I started posting content that way. And at this point, if you look back at like the first videos I posted, it was me in my living room speaking to the camera on my phone. Nothing special. It was just, then I met Ants from PT Mentor Academy and went and filmed that stuff. And it was just, a snowball effect. And I was like getting into this like circle of people where I was like, this is like something I could actually work. I was making okay-ish money. It was like probably level with what I was doing at PT. It's like, okay, I could probably do this now.